Ever ask your teen how their day was and get nothing but fine? A shrug or a closed bedroom door? You're not crazy, you're not failing, but something deeper is happening. Because your teenager isn't shutting you out to be rude. Their brain is literally wired to treat normal conversation like a threat. What sounds like, "How was your day?" to you feels like a landmine to them. In this video, I'll show you exactly how to become the one person your teen can actually talk to without shutting down, getting defensive, or rolling their eyes like you're ruining their life over cereal. To understand why your kid suddenly acts like a cryptic emotional ninja, we have to start where it all begins. In their brain. Because right now, it's under construction. And like any construction site, it's messy, chaotic, and full of warning signs. Let's break it down. The brain under construction. If your teen seems emotionally unstable, unreasonably private, or like they've suddenly turned into a cryptic version of their former self, that's not bad behavior. It's neurobiology. Their brain is being rebuilt, and like any construction site, it's messy, unpredictable, and full of hazards. Specifically, the prefrontal cortex, which is the part of the brain responsible for long-term planning, rational thought, and impulse control, is very much still under development. It is the executive function center, the part that says, "Maybe don't scream at mom over a cereal bowl," or "You don't need to catastrophize this one awkward hallway moment for 6 months straight." That part still forming. Meanwhile, the amygdala is fully online. This is the brain's emotional smoke detector. It reacts to stress, fear, embarrassment, and perceived threats like they're fires that must be put out immediately. And during adolescence, this system is not only active, it is hypersensitive. So what you get is a brain that's running on emergency signals without a fully developed control tower. This means your teen is feeling more than they ever have, while simultaneously having fewer tools to manage those feelings. Their emotional volume is turned all the way up, but their coping strategies are still being learned in real time. To you, a simple question like, "What happened at school today?" might feel neutral or supportive, but to them, it could trigger a dozen internal responses. Did I say something dumb in class? Am I being judged? Did they think I messed up again? That's not you overthinking. This is how the adolescent brain actually processes social interactions. It's wired to look for social threat before anything else, because acceptance by the peer group feels like a matter of survival. And when you add on academic stress, social media pressure, hormonal changes, shifting identity, and the need for independence, it becomes clear very quickly. Silence isn't apathy, it's protection. So, when they shut down, snap back, roll their eyes, or avoid the conversation altogether, it's not usually because they don't care. It's because their nervous system is prioritizing self-preservation. Understanding this changes the entire dynamic. You stop reading their reaction as defiance. You stop personalizing the cold shoulder. And instead, you begin to see what's really happening. A human being in the middle of rewiring their emotional and cognitive operating systems. Building trust. Here's a hard truth that might sting a little. Your teen is not going to open up to you just because you're their parent. They're not interested in your job title. They're interested in how safe you feel. And safe doesn't mean, "I bought you dinner and drove you to soccer." Safe means, "I can tell you I'm falling apart without you turning it into a TED Talk." Because trust, real, working, teenage trust, isn't built with hugs and inspirational fridge magnets. It's built through something a lot less glamorous and a lot more annoying. It's called co-regulation. Co-regulation means when they lose their mind, you don't lose yours. When they bring chaos, you bring calm. When they bring attitude, you bring consistency. When they storm off dramatically because you dared to ask how they're doing, you don't chase them with a whiteboard full of strategies. You stay grounded. And here's what most parents get wrong. You think teens shut down because they're rude or moody or ungrateful. Nope. They shut down because their brain is running threat detection 24/7. And guess what counts as a threat? Being corrected, being judged, being misunderstood. Being hit with that classic adult tone. So let's talk about this calmly. Translation: brace yourself. I'm about to psychoanalyze your entire personality over cereal. The adolescent brain is not subtle. It's not chill. It's scanning every second for signs of emotional danger. And danger to a teen can mean anything from "you look concerned" to "why did you breathe like that before asking me a question?" So if they sense that your concern is actually worry disguised as control, or that your interest is just a setup for another motivational speech, their nervous system hits the eject button. And here's the fun part: they probably won't tell you that. They'll just shrug, close the door, and rewatch the same YouTube video for the 12th time while you sit outside wondering what went wrong. But it's not about what you said. It's about what you signaled. Because trust in teenage development isn't an idea. It's a felt sense of safety. It's their body deciding, I can be honest with you, and you won't make it worse. This is where the boring but powerful skill of co-regulation comes in. It's not flashy. No one gives you a gold star for it. You'll never go viral on parenting TikTok for saying, "I stayed calm while my daughter yelled that I ruined her life because I asked her to wear shoes." But that's the work. You keep your tone steady when theirs escalates. You nod when you want to lecture. You stay seated when you want to follow them down the hallway yelling, "I'm not done talking to you." Because the one sentence that unlocks everything is this: I can handle your emotion without making it mine. That line, by the way, should be engraved into every parenting book, tattooed on every forearm, and maybe stitched onto throw pillows. When your teen realizes they can bring their real emotions, not the sanitized versions, not the rehearsed versions, but the raw, crumpled, messy ones, and you won't flinch, you become their safe place, even if they still roll their eyes at you. And it doesn't start big. They don't suddenly come down the stairs and deliver a monologue about their identity crisis and social anxiety. They test you with crumbs. A half sentence about a teacher being unfair. A sarcastic jab that sounds like nothing, but kinda isn't. A vague, whatever, that carries more emotional weight than a Shakespeare soliloquy. And if those crumbs aren't swatted away, if they're received with presence instead of panic, you get another crumb, then a slice, then eventually something that actually feels like connection. But here's the hard part. You don't get to rush the process. There's no shortcut, no script, no 5-minute convo hack to unlock your child's emotional core. There is only consistency, regulation, repeat. Because trust is not built in breakthrough moments. It is built in your reactions to everyday annoyances. When you stay calm during their mood swings. When you don't retaliate when they say something hurtful. When you keep showing up even when they pretend not to care. That's the blueprint. And yes, you will sometimes get it wrong. You'll overreact, lose your cool, say the wrong thing. But if you own it, if you show them that adults are human too, that builds trust even faster. Because ultimately, teens don't need perfect parents. They need emotionally safe ones. Quick breather. If this sounds suspiciously like your house, give it a like. It lets the algorithm know you're not alone. And honestly, neither am I. Conversations start where control ends. Here's a trap most parents fall into. You say you want connection, but you're still looking for control. You ask questions not because you're curious, but because you want to steer them. You offer advice not because they asked, but because you can see the mistake coming a mile away. And of course you can. You lived more. You know better. But here's the paradox. The more you try to manage the conversation, the less real conversation you'll get. Teens don't open up to people who try to change them. They open up to people who are willing to witness them as they are. So, trade the questions for statements. I know school's been feeling heavy lately. You've seemed more quiet this week, and I'm here if that ever feels hard. I don't need an answer right now, just wanted to check in. That's how you earn the real answers. Not by asking them, but by becoming someone safe enough to offer them to. The car rule. If you want real conversation, don't sit your teen down for a talk. That's basically a shutdown alarm. Instead, use the car rule. Conversations flow better when you're not making direct eye contact. There's no pressure to respond. The energy feels neutral, casual, safe. Car rides, folding laundry, doing dishes together, even walks at dusk. Why? Because the nervous system stays more relaxed when it doesn't feel cornered, and relaxed brains are more willing to open tabs they normally keep closed. Don't fill the silence. Let it breathe. Don't expect a deep reveal. Just offer your presence. And when the words come, let them come without interruption. Sometimes the deepest talks grow out of the smallest spaces. Timing is a love language. If you only ask your teen, "What's wrong?" when something is already wrong, they will associate your interest with their dysfunction. But if you ask about their world on a normal day, when the sky is clear, you start building what psychologists call relational scaffolding. It's the accumulation of emotionally neutral moments that make the difficult ones survivable. So, check in when nothing's broken. Sit down next to them when nothing needs fixing. Ask about their favorite shows, or friends, or playlists. Not because it's a trick, but because it's a pattern. And patterns build safety. Safety builds trust. Trust builds conversation. And hey, if you found this even slightly more helpful than your last awkward dinner table question, go ahead and share it with another parent who's probably also staring at their teen like they're trying to defuse a bomb. Click subscribe, or do whatever button pushing the algorithm demands today, because the more we talk about this stuff, the less alone we all feel doing it. And let's be honest, we could all use a few less fines in our lives, so pass it on.